It's the year 2040. A child is born, but not in the way nature intended. Her DNA was carefully edited before birth, every genetic flaw removed, her future optimized for health, intelligence, and longevity. She will never know what it means to fear cancer or inherit a deadly disease. To her parents, she is a miracle of modern science. But to the world, she represents something more, a glimpse into a future where we no longer accept nature's design, but rewrite it entirely. For centuries, medicine has fought against disease, often reacting only when sickness takes hold. But what if we no longer had to wait? What if we could predict, prevent, and even eliminate illness before it ever begins? Scientists have already taken the first steps. CRISPR, a gene editing technology once considered science fiction, is now being used to modify DNA with precision once thought impossible. In laboratories around the world, researchers are rewriting the genetic code, not just for rare disorders, but for common diseases, Alzheimer's, heart disease, even aging itself. The promise is breathtaking. Imagine a world where children are born free of inherited conditions, where cancer is no longer a death sentence, where the human lifespan is extended beyond anything we know today. For those suffering from genetic diseases, these advancements offer something unimaginable just a few decades ago: hope. But every revolution comes with questions. Where does healing end and enhancement begin? If we can remove disease, what's stopping us from designing traits, intelligence, height, physical ability? If the power to edit life itself becomes widely available, who decides how it is used? Not long ago, these questions were purely theoretical. Now they are urgent. In China, the first genetically edited babies were born in 2018, sparking global controversy. The experiment was condemned as reckless, but it proved one thing: this future is no longer hypothetical. Governments, corporations, and scientists are already shaping the genetic destiny of the next generations. But as we unlock these possibilities, are we ready for the consequences? For the first time in human history, we are not just treating disease, we are redefining what it means to be human. The question is, in our pursuit of a healthier future, how far are we willing to go? Not long ago, the idea of rewriting our own biology seemed impossible. Now it's happening. The ability to edit genes is no longer limited to curing disease. It's becoming a tool to reshape the human experience itself. If we can prevent illness, why stop there? What if we could enhance memory, increase strength, or even slow the aging process? The lines between medicine and modification are beginning to blur. For some, this represents the ultimate progress, a future where genetic limitations no longer define us, where intelligence, athletic ability, or even creativity can be refined before birth. Imagine a world where a child's potential isn't left to chance, but carefully engineered for success. A society without disease, without disabilities, where everyone is optimized from the moment they enter the world. But the implications are unsettling. If genetic enhancement becomes possible, does it become an expectation, a necessity? What happens to those who are born naturally, unmodified? Will they be seen as disadvantaged, as relics of an unedited past? The fear is not just about technology, it's about the world it might create. A world where human worth is measured in genetic perfection, where those who can afford enhancements surge ahead, leaving others behind. This future isn't just theoretical. In fertility clinics, parents already select embryos based on health indicators, and some companies are exploring genetic predictions for intelligence and personality. The question isn't if we'll enhance ourselves, it's who will have access. Will gene editing become a privilege of the wealthy, creating an even deeper divide between those who can afford perfection and those who cannot? The idea of altering human potential has captivated and terrified us for centuries. In myths and cautionary tales, those who sought to control nature often paid a price. But this time, it's not a story, it's real. And as we move closer to a world where genes can be designed like code, one question looms: if we can engineer the perfect human, should we? A single error in a line of code can crash a computer program. But what happens when the code we alter is human DNA? The promise of genetic modification is precision, the ability to edit life itself with surgical accuracy. But biology is not a machine. It's a delicate, interconnected system, and even the smallest changes can ripple into the unknown. Scientists are already discovering that modifying one gene can have unintended effects. A tweak meant to enhance memory might also increase susceptibility to neurological disorders. An edit designed to boost muscle growth could unintentionally weaken the immune system. And these risks don't just affect individuals. They can be passed down for generations, creating unpredictable consequences in the human gene pool. Beyond the lab, the dangers grow even more complex. In the wrong hands, biotechnology is no longer a tool for healing, but a potential weapon. Gene editing techniques that cure disease could also be used to engineer viruses, alter human biology for military advantage, or create biological agents unlike anything the world has seen before. Some experts warn that the next arms race won't be fought with bombs or cyber attacks, but with DNA. Even without malicious intent, the risks are immense. Could a simple mistake lead to unintended mutations, ones that spread before we can stop them? Could an overconfidence in our ability to control life set off a cascade of genetic consequences we never anticipated? For all the progress we've made, we still don't fully understand the complexity of the human genome, yet we are already rewriting it. Every revolution comes with risks, but when that revolution is biological, when it alters the very fabric of human life, are we prepared for what might follow? For as long as humans have existed, survival has been dictated by chance, by genetics, by circumstance, by forces beyond our control. But now, with biotechnology, we are rewriting the rules. No longer bound by the randomness of evolution, we are stepping into the role of architects, shaping not just our future, but the very nature of life itself. Some see this as the dawn of a golden age, where disease, disability, and suffering become relics of the past. Imagine a world where no child is born with a life-threatening illness, where aging is no longer an inevitability, but a process we can slow, halt, or even reverse. A world where medical breakthroughs are not just treatments, but permanent solutions tailored at the genetic level to ensure longer, healthier, and more capable lives. But others warn of a different future, one where control over biology doesn't unite us, but divides us further. If genetic enhancements become widely available, will they be accessible to all, or only to those who can afford them? What happens when some populations are biologically optimized, while others are left behind? Could we create a genetic underclass, where inequality isn't just social or economic, but encoded into our very DNA? Then, there's the question of identity. If we begin altering what makes us human, at what point do we stop being the same species? If future generations are designed rather than born, will they look back at us, the unmodified, the imperfect, as something lesser? And if evolution is no longer driven by nature, but by human ambition, where does it ultimately lead? The power we hold is unprecedented. We can cure, we can enhance, we can reimagine what it means to be human. But with each step forward, we are making choices, not just for ourselves, but for generations to come. Are we prepared to live with the world we are creating? Or more importantly, are they? The future of biotechnology is no longer a distant possibility. It is unfolding now. Each discovery brings us closer to a world where disease is optional, where human potential is no longer left to chance. But as we push forward, we must ask, are we guiding this progress? Or is it guiding us? Throughout history, every great technological leap has come with promises of transformation. Electricity reshaped cities. The internet redefined communication. But each advancement also introduced unforeseen consequences, challenges we were often unprepared to face. Now we stand at the threshold of an even greater shift, one that doesn't just change how we live, but what we are. If we can extend life indefinitely, how will society adapt? If intelligence can be enhanced at will, what happens to the value of human effort? If perfection becomes possible, will imperfection still be accepted? These are not abstract questions. They are the decisions that will define the next era of human existence. Yet, despite the uncertainty, the future is ours to shape. The choices we make today will ripple across generations, altering the very fabric of life itself. Will we use this power to uplift, to heal, to ensure a future where all can thrive? Or will we create a world where the privileged evolve, while the rest are left behind? Perhaps the real question is not what we can do, but what we should do. And as we move forward, one thought lingers. Once we cross this threshold, will there ever be a way back? This video has come to an end, but the discovery continues. Check out more content on the channel and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thank you for watching.